The first step in making guacamole is to cut in half and to remove the seed in your avocados. Using a knife and being careful, you can remove the seed pretty easily. Then you want to make slits in the avocado horizontally and vertically to make a nice, easy diced effect. With a spoon, you can then scoop out all of these pieces and your avocado is already cut up. Next, we're going to dice our tomatoes. If you use a serrated knife, it helps to cut through the skin of a tomato a lot easier than just a regular knife. I use cherry tomatoes because I think they bring a lot more flavor to your guacamole. To dice the tomatoes, cut in half one way, then flip over and cut in half again. Now cutting in the opposite direction, make 2 more cuts in about thirds of the tomatoes. This will give you the right size of diced tomato that you need for your guacamole. Dicing the tomatoes is probably the longest part of making guacamole, so take your time and be careful. Now we're going to dice our onion. This is a little hack that I learned to make dicing onions quick, easy, and tear-free. First, cut one end off the onion. Then make small cuts all the way across the face of the onion. You want to make sure that they're about half a centimeter apart from each other. Next, rotate the onion so you make the exact same cuts perpendicular to the ones that you just made. Your onion should look like a miniature checkerboard. Now, place the onion on its side and cut straight down. Each square that you just made will fall off into the perfect onion dice. Go ahead and add your onions to the bowl. Now it contains your avocado, tomato, and onions. Set aside. Next, we're going to cut the cilantro. Cilantro can be kind of difficult to cut because it likes to stick to the cutting board. So the easiest way I've found to do this is to try to roll it up on itself. This allows you to make smaller cuts that are perfect for guacamole. Now it's time to dice the jalapeno. First, start by cutting the top off. Then, cut the jalapeno in half. Depending on how spicy you want your guacamole will determine how much of this jalapeno you use. Take 1/2 to start and cut it into thirds. Then, dice it by cutting in the perpendicular direction from the thirds that you just cut. To make it less spicy, remove the seeds or just use the bottom half of the jalapeno. If you like the heat, go ahead and use 1 whole jalapeno and make sure to include all the seeds. In our bowl, we now have avocado, tomato, onion, cilantro, and jalapeno. You'll want to mix this up before we start to add our spices. So now it's time to add our spices. This is what's going to take our guacamole to the next level. First, you want to start with sea salt. This is the main component and the biggest flavor that you're going to need to put into your guacamole. So it may seem like I'm putting a lot in, but that's how much you'll need. Next, go ahead and add garlic salt. Add enough to cover the top of the guacamole. Now you want to add cayenne pepper. You can vary the amount that you want depending on how spicy you want your guacamole. I enjoy a little bit of a kick, so I add about the same amount of cayenne pepper as I would garlic salt. Next, add a touch of paprika. This is a really bold flavor that goes a long way, so you don't need too much. Next, you'll want to add lime juice. Normally I use a fresh lime, and I'll slice it in half and squeeze at least 1/2 of the lime into the guacamole. However, I was out of limes, so it's totally fine to use pre-squeezed lime juice as well. Add about a tablespoon. Now it's time to mix it up again. You'll want to really make sure you mix this well to make sure all the flavors blend together. And if you like a chunkier guacamole, just stir it. If you want to cream your guacamole though, take a fork and press it to the side of the bowl. This will really smash up the avocado and make that creamy guacamole. Once you've mixed the guacamole to the consistency that you like, make sure to taste it and then serve and enjoy.